My name is Andrew Gibbs, and here we are in my kind of quite small, quite dark studio, making a stop frame animation. The film's about a blind woman and her daughter who's taking care of her. The daughter's been trying to cover up the fact that she's losing her sight as well, and that they're actually very poor, and she's got her mother to believe that they're actually quite well off, and that she's in a really good job in the city, and she's very happy with life in general.
Hello, Ma. Are you asleep?
Sleep? Me and them smart city shoe a mile off.
A lot of the time my health kind of interferes with what I'm trying to do. To look at me, I look pretty normal, I guess, but I've got a pretty specialized heart. It's on the wrong side of my chest, so it's over here, it's on the right, and it's more commonly found on the left. And whereas a normal heart's got 4 chambers, mine's only got 2. I think I've had open heart surgery maybe 4 or 5 times in my life. For someone to take 1 step, it's like I've taken 3. For me to keep up with an average person is difficult, and I find, and I'm sure anyone who's ever made a film finds, it's a sort of a superhuman activity. So yeah, I would say I'm lumped with a big disadvantage because of that. But at the same time, it makes you a lot more unique, and you've had experiences and you've seen things of life that no one else, well, very few other people would see.
Water, water. Clara!
Time has been a small problem for us, and I think a lot of it was to do with things like, I mean, with that going into hospital. It's also quite difficult to kind of plan ahead and plan around that. And it does make things like scheduling and quite a bit of difficult, to be brutally honest, when disabled people or ordinary people or whatever watch the film. I hope that they will not notice any difference. I would hope more that they would watch it and hopefully like it, hopefully think it was a good film. And to some people I hope it's a special film that they remember.
Roll sound.
Speed.
Roll camera.
Speed.
Action.
Art is life. My disability is my art.
So this is your first film?
First film in this particular genre, but as an artist, I've made I've made many independent films that are sort of films that would be shown in galleries or exhibition spaces.
Gemma, what inspires you?
As you know, my biggest inspiration is me. I've had a lifelong struggle trying to end my own life, and this new artwork, well, it's the expression of my frustration at the legal system in this country. I have very limited, if any, movement, and I live independently through directing other people. On the set, obviously I was acting in it as well as directing, and it's the first time that I've actually worked with a professional team. So people like Alex, who was the director of photography, and Justin with his experience as well, I sort of allowed them to enlighten me of what was possible, and then by that I could then decide whether things work. For me it was an absolute luxury having all these people involved and milling around and with their own sort of areas that they specialised in. I loved it because I'm so used to doing everything from a fine art background. I'm used to doing it all from a sort of one-person show, so it was great to have all these other people involved, which meant I could sort of relax a bit. Art is life. My disability is my art. Follow me on my journey to die. With a bigger budget, it means that you can spend more time in actually shooting, whereas for me personally it was quite physically exhausting having to do a 3-day shoot, and ideally it would have been done over a 1-week period. In the future, well, I want to carry on making films with.
Han Solo, the most famous porn star in the world. It's Hans' left hand that is the real star of the show. His magic fingers have pointed the way to a hand sex revolution. And it's not only his digital dexterity that makes him special. For this particular superstar porn star was born profoundly deaf.
My name is William. I'm a film director. Well, the whole thing started about a year ago when I went to the pub with a friend, Charlie. He gave me a script, Han Solo. I thought it was a bit strange, but at the same time I thought it was a wonderful idea. It's a bit of a roller coaster of emotions, but it was a fantastic experience. There were ups and downs, highs and lows, but I've learnt a lot from it. I mean, the main difference between a deaf director and a hearing director is of course communication. I've been quite lucky because on one-to-one communication that's fine, but it can be difficult if you haven't got enough time to talk to everyone on set on an individual basis. So sometimes you have to grin and bear it and use an interpreter or just shout at everyone on set. In this film it's quite complicated. There's various different locations, different elements to it. There were times when we were chatting and there was confusion. For me being deaf, it meant that I could switch off from that and get on with it and focus purely on the important things. So I could focus more on the shot or the script, the acting, everything else, the peripheral stuff I could just get rid of. So that was useful. The interesting thing about Han Solo, it was a nice mixed group of deaf and hearing actors. You have to use a variety of working methods. I was lucky with Nicola because her grandfather was deaf. So she knew a little bit about deaf awareness, so she understood the deaf angle to the script a bit more than other actors and actresses would.
He just put his hand on my shoulder and I just melted.
I've worked in porn for a few years now, but that was the first time I'd ever seen a atomic orgasm.
For me, the only thing that could make my life easier would be to have one interpreter for me at my beck and call, if you like, for 24 hours a day. When you're making a film, you have to do things at any hour of the day. You could have to go and meet somebody at 8 AM in the morning for a breakfast meeting. Then you might have another meeting in the evening in a cafe talking to a potential cameraman. Unfortunately, the way filmmaking is, you can't expect these bookings to be fulfilled. The process of making the film has been fantastic. I've learnt so much. I've been through script development, filming, editing, sound effects, mixing, post-production. It's all been very positive. Now it's finished, I find it very difficult to watch the film, objectively, I suppose, because I'm too close to it. I'm hoping that people will see the film, enjoy it, and see that it's meant to be about a man who just happens to have amazing skills with his hand.